welcome to the Joe Cortez Show here in Las Vegas, Nevada, the entertainment capital of the world. Well, today we have a special guest. She's a very popular singer. She's a world traveler, been around. We want to, again, welcome our co-host, Shelly Stevens. And we're going to be talking to you especially about this young lady. And her name is Denita Asberry. Denita Asberry is a very, very popular singer. But before we start, we want to make sure you guys hit the like, share, and subscribe on the show, because we want you guys to share our show with individuals out there, know what we're talking about here at the entertainment capital of the world on the Joe Cortez Show. Any comments you have, please leave them there as well. Okay? Well, welcome to the show, guys. How
nice
you doing?
To be here.
Okay, welcome to the show, and I want to just say it's an honor to have you here. I've met you before, and I've seen you perform once, and you got a hell of a voice. I mean, you're amazing.
Thank you.
How did you get started?
Oh, back in Detroit.
Back in Detroit?
In church. Well, first of all, in my grandmother's living room. Uh-huh. That's where it got started.
You must have been a little young one, your
yes.
grandma, and she started singing, and you were following your mother's voice, and
yes.
that's a lot of individuals get started.
Yes,
that way.
my mother, uncle, and aunt, they had a group when I was growing up, and so I would always listen to them. Mm-hmm. And then one day my mom had laryngitis, and she couldn't sing, but they still had to rehearse until she got better. So I said, "Oh, I know that song, and I know her note." So I just jumped in. It was like, "Yeah, just take her place for a minute."
All right. Well, you've been traveling all over the world.
Oh yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit?
Oh yeah, traveling all over the world. That's how I meet so many of my friends here in Vegas. It's so funny how we all met internationally. And Denita and I, we did a ship together one time when she was working for Legends in concert, and she was doing Aretha Franklin, and my husband and I were performing on there. And I was just amazed when I first saw her. I was like, oh my gosh, she actually looks and sounds and projects herself on stage. You would think it was Aretha Franklin.
Really?
I've seen a lot of impersonators in my life, but this girl, she's much more than an impersonator. She's her. Seriously, we fell in love.
Talking about Aretha Franklin, she's one of your favorite singers, I imagine.
Yes.
You have any other favorite singers out there?
I loved Whitney and Tina, and there's other people like on song like Phyllis Hyman, and Mickey Howard, and Regina Bell.
Mm-hmm. Phyllis Hyman, she was a
Denise
good friend
Williams.
of ours too.
Yeah. So I grew up on all the good stuff.
Yeah. Well, we have some of your clips here. We like to show one of your clips of you performing with your talent. I mean, people want to see Aretha Franklin. Not too many people can sing like her. Could we show a little bit of what my dear friend Denita has to offer you today? Go ahead.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is showtime. Miss Denita Asberry doing a special Las Vegas tribute to Aretha Franklin.
Loved a man the way that I loved you. Oh, yeah!
Denita Asberry, that's amazing. What a
Thank
voice you
you.
have. Very, very talented young lady.
Thank you.
I
Appreciate it.
still get chills every time I see or hear you. I'll tell you, when we first met this girl, and we were all working on ships together, I had some friends of mine on board, and they were from South Carolina. Actually, you met them. Gloria O'Neill and Harry O'Neill. I just want to say hi to you. You remember this girl, because we were sitting in the audience together watching you, and she was like, the whole time her eyes were like saucers, and she was like, look at her, listen to her, and look at her pretty legs. She was going crazy about your legs. And she wouldn't stop talking. All she was like, be quiet. And she's like, I can't get over this girl. So she told me to give her a shout out and tell you hi.
Tell her.
But she still remembers that performance, and we do too. We were so honored to meet you. And then to find out that you lived in Las Vegas, I was like, that's it. We're sisters for life now. That's it.
That was it. We
Oh,
were on
yeah.
that ship for 6 months.
I know, right? Oh my God, we had so much fun. I love traveling.
It
the
went
world
by
with
fast.
you.
We were like, we
Yeah.
need more.
Yes,
So
exactly.
how did you start? I mean, you started performing back, you said back in Detroit, but I mean, you've been performing for over 20 years.
Yes. But like the bug really bit me at age 8 in school,
Okay.
in elementary school. And that was like my first standing ovation.
Mm-hmm.
And I had my first solo, and the mics went out. Everything that could go wrong went wrong.
Yeah.
And they, you still want to sing? Sure. And I just belted out what I needed to belt out. And I said, okay, I want to do this the rest of my life.
Damn. I have a similar story. My mom, she was a dancer for Fats Domino. And one time she couldn't find a babysitter, so she took me. And I was backstage trying to be cool, but I had met Fats Domino before. He heard me singing Blueberry Hill, my little self. Anyway, he told my mom to bring me out on stage, and he sat me up on that piano and made me sing Blueberry Hill with him. And I got the applause and the standing ovation. I'm like, that's it. This is
That's
what we're
it.
going to do for the rest of our lives, right? And we still doing it.
Now, you have who were some of your favorite male singers?
Luther Vandross,
Okay.
Mel Torme.
Well, tell me here, but Mel Torme, one of my favorites. He had a,
Yeah.
yeah, what a voice.
Nat King Cole.
Nat King Cole. He had a brother named Freddie Cole, you know. I don't know if you got to meet his brother, Freddie Cole. He was a good friend of
No,
mine.
I did not know.
Yeah, Freddie Cole. He passed away 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I love like old school, like the Spinners, the Charlites, and Hall & Oates, Ambrosia,
Yeah, yeah.
things of that nature. Yeah.
Yeah, Freddie Cole, Nat King Cole's brother, he used to perform down at the hotel that I used to work at in Puerto Rico. And he would perform there every night of the week. He was off on Tuesdays. And he would go out fishing with me on my boat. Him and his wife, and he had an adopted son called, his name was Lionel. And we used to go out every Tuesday when he was off. I would go there, pick him up, and I would make sure I was off that day. We go out fishing, and we had so much fun together. But people would say, can you sing one of your Nat King Cole songs? He said, I'm sorry, I can sing songs for you, but I don't sing any of my brother's songs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but he almost the same voice, so he played the piano really good.
Oh, you
Yeah.
asked me about my favorite singers. I forgot about Natalie Cole. Huh?
Oh,
Loved her.
yeah. She was another good one. I think he showed me videos of her when she was like 10, 11 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Man, may they all burst in peace because they all passed away. Freddie, Nat, and Natalie. Yeah. So what's going on with you now? What's coming up for you in the very near future? What's happening?
Well, I have a show coming up in October 27th at the Italian American Club.
That's here in Las Vegas.
Yeah, it's here in Las Vegas on East Sahara, and the doors open up at 7, and the show will start at 8, and it will be Soulville, Respect to the Queen.
All right, very good, very good. Well, we're going to go into a little brief commercial, and we'll be right back with you guys to keep sharing a little bit of Denita's history. She has a lot of talent. We'll share some more with you. We'll be right back.
We are Integrity Solar America, a veteran-owned business and experts in solar energy. We'll give you honest advice and tell you if solar is right for your home. And we'll educate you on how the 30% federal tax credit really works. Integrity Solar can install your system with zero down and no out-of-pocket cost. Visit integritysolar.america.com or call us at 1-800-988-1569. 1-800-988-1569.
Well, Welcome again to the Joe Cortez Show here in Las Vegas, Nevada, the entertainment capital of the world. And again, our special guest we have today, Denita Asberry, a talented young lady. Again, with my co-host, Shelly Stevens. Shelly, we're lucky to have Denita on our show today.
We are very lucky.
I mean, she's a good friend of yours, but she's very talented.
Yes. And, it's so funny because I met most of my friends in Vegas on ships or around the world somewhere. And her show that she has coming up at the Italian American Club, we can't wait for that. And also her background singers, we know them very well, Ivana and Queen Aries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Ivana Christie.
Yeah, Ivana Christie. I met her years ago when all of us were performing in Japan. And we stayed friends throughout the whole time, and that was like way back in the 80s and 90s. And so,
Small world.
Yeah, and it's funny how the entertainers that travel internationally, we're always the ones that always stick together and stay close because we have so much in common. So, yeah.
I met Ivana in Japan.
See?
And then we moved here on the same day and didn't even know it.
Really?
That's right. And you know what? She reminded me that I also met you in Japan. I think it was at Gary's in Nagoya.
I did.
I think so. That's what she told me.
Must
but
have
we
been a
didn't
sake
know.
night. I didn't know.
Right? We didn't know each other then. But we were there. You were at Gary's, right?
Yes.
In Nagoya. Yeah, we were there.
Jumping around.
Yeah.
Well, Japan is one of my favorite countries.
Oh,
Mine
yeah.
too.
Yeah,
Especially the
definitely.
food.
Oh,
I used to love to go there to referee fights, and one day I was refereeing a fight, and the fight was over. It was a great fight. And then all these cushions, people throwing cushions from the balcony to throw cushions into the ring. And I told the guy, why are they throwing cushions? He said, that's the way that they appreciate it. It was a good fight, so they throw the cushions in the ring. I said, what would they do if they didn't like to fight? Would they be throwing bottles at us or what? I mean, but Japan, one of my favorite countries, really beautiful place.
Ours too. They tip very well there.
Oh, yes, they do.
Yeah.
Very
Believe
generous.
me, I know. I can't believe it. Like one time I got a tip of $1,000
Hello.
to sing Whitney Houston.
Hello,
I will always love you.
That was the moneymaker
But now
right
it's
there.
hard for me to sing it now. I'm not making that $1,000.
Put it in a
Yeah,
bass
put it in
voice.
the jar first, and I'll do your request.
Let me ask you, so anything happening with any recordings or anything about in the near future with any new records?
No. I want to work on that in the future, but right now I'm just trying to survive of getting more shows underneath my belt with my show, because I've done shows for everybody else, and I say it's time for me to do something for me.
Has anybody talked to you about maybe doing a life story about Aretha Franklin? I mean, being that you sing her so much.
No, they what they did.
So somebody-
Three shows, three movies about her so far.
And 3 movies about her life story.
I traveled to Detroit twice to try to audition, but she didn't get a chance to see me.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow, that's amazing.
well,
But, I
they're
mean,
missing out.
yeah, because you definitely have the voice, you got the talent,
Thank you.
and you got the beauty, of course. You know that goes along with all your singing too.
Thank you.
Yeah. And not everybody can sing like Aretha Franklin. There are very few people. I've heard some young girls recently put on the YouTube channel that you see these young kids, or some of these kids on America Got Talent. I mean, they say, where did they get the talent? Where did they get that voice from? I guess like you, when they discovered you had your voice when you were a little girl, 8, 9 years old?
8, 9 years old. And then I started to sing in bars. My mom would be my chaperone. Mm-hmm. And I remember meeting Lottie the Body back in the day. They call it the Shaker Dancers. But she was managing a club. And she was in the Standing of Shadows, that movie. Mm-hmm. And I realized, I'm like, oh my God, I met her. And she kind of got me all together and just telling me, well, the way you dress, you look like you're going to Easter Sunday school, and you need to fix this, your hair, and your stockings are too big. You got your mama stockings on you.
God.
Yeah, she really helped me out. I was thankful for her. I got a chance to say thank you to her on the phone with one of the Detroit awards before she passed away. So that was great.
Yeah. Now, she was one of the same. She was originally from Detroit herself?
Yes,
wow.
And she would be the opening act when all the Temptations, Supremes, all the Marvelous and Martha Reeves and Vandellas. She would be the opening act.
Wow.
Yeah,
And entertain the crowd before.
She was from the 50s, the 60s, and 70s. Mm-hmm. Those are the 3.
Traveled all over the world. It's wonderful. I can't wait to see her life story. That would be amazing. Yeah. And the lady is drop dead gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So tell us a little bit of your favorite stories about your performance that you did in the past? What are your favorite highlights of your life?
Oh, well, being in Detroit, I went to Japan, and then I got the phone call for a show here in Vegas. They were going to open at the Sahara. I wasn't able to do it because I'm still under contract in Japan, so I said, I'll catch the next one. And so they said, okay, we're going to open up again at Luxor. I said, all right. So I was hired as a swing in Detroit because I already did the show. It's called Beehive. So it was a 60s musical. And anybody that got sick, whether the Caucasian or whatever size, I was there. So I had to learn everyone's part. So there were 6 girls.
Wow.
And they kept me busy. So there was one lady that was on the road. She had 3 kids, and her kids would get sick, so she had to leave, drop of a dime. So they would pin the clothes, safety pin the clothes on me. Because, I mean, they weren't going to make me new outfit, so they would pin it on me. Sometimes the safety pins would come apart when I would, hit my big notes. And so when we got here, they said for me to sing Natural Woman. And they had the original lady that they wanted to hire. And then the MD slammed the piano down, Jim Vukovic, God rest his soul. He went into the other room and talked to the producer. And they were arguing. I didn't know what they were arguing about. And then he asked me, can you come in the room? Well, what they were arguing about, they said, the producer said I couldn't possibly be Aretha because I was too skinny. So the argument was, he said, she was skinny. Have you done your research? And he said, well, look at her. She looks like Aretha. And I'm thinking, I do. And she sound like her. She sound more like her than the girl you hired. They were going back and forth.
Goodness.
So it just switched that quick, and I ended up having the lead and not a swing anymore.
Wow.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Everybody was congratulating you back then. Say, wow,
Yeah.
you finally made it.
Yep. And one time, one funny thing, the other African American girls in the show disappeared, went out of town, got stuck in a snowstorm, or sick, couldn't come, or they didn't have the new girl's number, didn't know how to contact her, and I ended up doing everybody in the whole show.
Wow.
How's the music today compared to the days when you used to first start out in your entertainment field?
Oh, it's different.
Is it different?
It just have more heart and soul. I like some of the new people like Bruno Mars because I guess he has like an old school feel. I like Doja Cat. I like some of the new people. Beyonce.
But a lot of the rap stuff that's going on now, you're not too much of a fan of that?
Well, you know what, the rap young men, they scare me because they're not going to make it to an older age to have grandchildren the way it's going. So I guess it's just more vulgar now, I would say. I mean, we had some dirty things too, but like Luke. but so, and then we had Prince, but some of the words were, we would giggle about it because like, what did he just say? It would be more creative, I guess, It's just different.
A little different.
These young men now, the rappers, they're living out their gangster life. And killing each other. That's the problem I have with it. And it's really sad because I want them to survive like LL Cool J, Ice Cube, they, so that everybody can see what they turned into.
Exactly.
That's good. And you viewers out there watching, you listen to this young lady telling you a little bit about what's going on in the world today, in the music world. Yeah, back in the old days it was very entertaining. It still is entertaining today, but it's a little on the rough side today with these young kids doing the wrong things with gangs and drugs and whatnot. You got to be careful with that. And we didn't have too much of that. But back in the day when we were growing up, it was a little cleaner back then. We had a little bit more discipline. But we need a little bit more of get these kids more on the right track today.
Yes.
We're going to go into a little brief commercial right now. We'll be right back with you, okay?
Are you interested in solar energy but concerned that it won't work for you? Your roof needs repairs. You might want to move. Your electricity bill isn't that high, or you're just not sure if you would qualify for incentives. Integrity Solar America is a veteran-owned business and your trusted source for solar. We'll educate you on solar with straight answers about the 30% federal tax credit and installation costs. Visit integritysolar.america.com or call us at 1-800-998-1569.
Well, welcome back again to the Joe Cortez Show here in Las Vegas, Nevada, the entertainment capital of the world. And we have Denita Asberry with us and all of my co-hosts, Shelly Stevens, talking a little bit about Denita's past and what's happening these days here in Las Vegas.
Well, she's going to be at the Italian American Club, so we're going to have to go. We'll have to put that in his phone.
When is that?
October 27th.
Italian
8
American
o'clock.
Club here in Las
Yes.
Vegas, Nevada.
A ticket's what, $45? We're going to have a good time. You're going to be up dancing. You're going to be sweating. Bring a towel.
All right.
I can't
Bring
wait.
it down.
And in October, I'm going, after October, I'm going to a ship. So I'm going to be a guest entertainer.
Where are you going to?
Going to San Juan.
San Juan, Puerto Rico.
To be my second time going there. I'm going in December 7th through the 14th.
Yeah.
So that is going to be great.
That's
Can't
what
wait to get
we're
back on the
talking
road.
about. Getting back to ships. I know we're going back out too. We're going back out in October, and just for a couple of weeks, and we're going to be on the Viking, Mississippi once again. And it's a different experience for us. We're sailing in the United States. We've never done that before.
Right.
But we did it a couple of months ago, and it was just fabulous. So, yeah, we're going to be doing that. So we love sailing, don't we, girl?
Yes, we do.
Well, it's amazing that you come here to be on our show today, because our viewers they have not been getting too much of what's going on, the latest. I mean, you got to bring back the old school stuff. What kind of music people like to hear today? There's not too much of it. But I mean, you performing at the Italian American Club. Where are you performing on the street before? Which hotel are you performing?
I have been in every hotel, even the ones that's knocked down. I do miss like the Desert Inn and the Riviera. Yeah, I worked with Wayne Newton.
Wayne Newton, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, he's still performing. He's performing at the Bally's Hotel.
Yes.
It's not a big show like he used to have before with the big band. It's more condensed type of a show.
He's still a heck of an entertainer.
But he still does his
I've learned
thing.
a lot from him watching.
Hey, he was a great guy, He was a big fight fan. He used to hang out with me a lot. And when I used to do fights here in Las Vegas, and when I saw him a couple of months ago, he was surprised to see me there. But he remember he's coming to the fights with his wife. He had a big cowboy hat on. He's a tall guy. He's about 6'2". He's a tall guy, and a very nice guy, very humble. But that's a different kind of music. But people always love Wayne Newton.
Always. I used to sing back before Gladys Knight, too, when she was at the Flamingo.
Gladys Knight, yeah, Gladys Knight. Gladys Knight, the pits.
Her and Bubba, when we had one pit.
Oh, one pit. Wow. Gladys Knight, she was amazing. She's performed a lot in Atlantic City as well. Yeah.
I just came back from there
That's right.
last week. We did a show called Three Queens in Atlantic City.
Which hotel?
At the Golden Nugget.
The Golden Nugget, that
Yes.
hotel been there for a while.
Yeah.
I used to referee fights there back in the 70s and 80s.
Wow.
Yeah, I refereed 15 years back east in Atlantic City was one of the places I would referee there maybe 2 or 3 times a week. Yes,
Wow.
it was back in the day. When boxing was busy. Boxing kind of dropped a little bit now, but boxing has its peaks and valleys, but it's coming back on the rise again.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love the fact that we all have been to the same places and stuff. It's like we were meant to be together or something. He spent a lot of time in Puerto Rico and Cuba, and we love traveling, and I find that most of the entertainers here in Vegas, a lot of them, they haven't been anywhere.
No.
And they come to Vegas and they think, oh, I'm going to be a big star, but when you ask them what kind of music do they do, and they're only doing one style of music, and I'm like, really? I can't even imagine that. People always ask you that, what type of music do you do? And when you say, oh, we do everything, it depends on who we're playing to, and they don't believe you, but see, people need to start traveling.
Exactly.
They do.
And I'm also working on I'm talking to the Notoriety, working on something called the Honey Tones. So it will be Ivana and Queen.
Great.
And so I can span out and do me. Because I'm not just doing tribute artists of Aretha all the time.
Yes,
I do a lot of different things. 'Cause I've been all up and down the strip and off the strip. I used to work at the Hilton
Hilton, right.
back in the day with Louie.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
The Divas. Yes, that was fun.
Back in the good old days.
Good old days.
Now, Shelly, you're performing with Wesley, your husband, Wesley. When are you performing again?
Yeah, actually, we're going to be Saturday. That's tomorrow, isn't it? Weeks go by so fast. We're going to be back at Lola's, which is our normal Saturday night spot, which we love so much. Lola, actually, she has sold the restaurant to our general manager, TJ, so we want to give her a shout out. Lola says she's going to take some time off. I said, what are you going to do now that you're, not going to be running the restaurant anymore? She said, I'm going to travel, see my kids, my grandkids. I'm like, oh, that sounds so nice. So, yeah. So everybody should come out to Lola. She's having a big going away party on the 18th, which is also an anniversary for her, too.
When is that?
On September 18th.
September 18th at Lola's.
Yeah.
So you viewers out there watching, you want to have a good time and have a farewell party for Lola, make sure you come.
Yeah.
Great
and
food.
Tuesday we're going to be at the German American Club doing our Motown and More show. So, make sure you come out for that too. Yeah. We
And
like mixing
And
it.
that's from what time to what time?
That one, 6 to 9 is the German American Club, and Lola's is from 6 to 10.
6 to 10.
Yeah.
Well, that's an
Yeah.
investment. Well, you guys have a great job. I mean, Wesley, one of my favorite singers. I mean, he was originally with the Commodores and the Stylistics back in the
He
day.
started out with the Stylistics and went with the Commodores. Then he was with the New York group called BT Express in the disco era. And then we met, and then we started performing together, and still doing it.
You all sing in different languages too, which
Yeah,
always
girl.
amazed me.
We
What,
sing-
Chinese or something?
Yeah, we
I
sing-
remember that.
We
I'm
sing
like-
in 7 languages, yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, and I remember one time I was in Europe and on a ship, and the guy who hires us to go to Asia, he says, I need you to do this one special song when you come back. It's really popular in Shanghai, and it's about a TV series, and we want you to do the theme song from the TV series. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm in Europe now, and I don't have anybody Chinese over here to help me with the words. He goes, no, you got to do the song. So I listened to the song, and I wrote down everything phonetically, just how I heard it and not how they spelled it, and that's how I learned to sing the song. So after that, I started, doing it myself instead of asking for help. If
What
nobody
other
was
languages?
around. That was in Chinese.
You
Shanghai.
said 7 languages. What
Yeah.
other?
Oh, let's see, Chinese, Japanese,
Spanish,
Portuguese, Spanish,
English.
Little African, English, Italian, French, German. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty
I
good.
see why you on the ships all the time.
You definitely have something to back up in case your music stops. You can become an interpreter.
Oh, God.
Right.
Okay,
You
well,
said the
let me-
buck stops there, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like I can sing it, I can't speak it.
Denita, what good advice can you give some of our young viewers out there watching today? Your advice to the young ones coming up. They want to get a start in music. They want to be like another Aretha Franklin or be another Denita.
I would say never give up, and don't close yourself off to opportunities. And to, I notice a lot of the younger people, some of them, are not open to criticism, constructive criticism.
Mm-hmm.
They get mad, and it's like, we're only here to help you.
Right.
We're not in competition with you. It's just trying to help you get to a better level. I mean, I used to get upset, but I said, you know what, I know I needed to hear it because it only makes you better.
Right.
Somebody tell you, don't wear that hair, or don't wear that dress, or, fix your makeup, or, don't get mad about it. Just say, okay, this person's a little bit older than me, have some respect, because they've been around the block and around the world, and just learn from their mistakes, and then it'll probably help you from having some pitfalls along the way.
Well, that's good.
And don't let men stop you from your dreams.
That's one point.
Don't let
That's one point.
don't-
Well, let me tell you that in boxing, when I was a referee, it was the same thing. People say, Joe, every fight not gonna be an easy fight. You got some difficult fights, and people are gonna criticize you, especially the media, and some of the fans are gonna boo you. You gotta learn to accept it and take it and forget about it and go to the next one. Whatever happened in the past, forget about it. Let's look at the next step, because some officials say, I can't do this because this is too tough. I said, you got to have thick skin in this business.
Thick skin.
Yeah, same thing in the entertainment field. You got to have thick skin. And so every day is not going to be a good day. You're going to have off days, but you got to learn to accept it. That makes you better, as you go
Never
on.
let them see you sweat and cry in a car.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you,
Cry when you go home.
That's right.
Denita, I just want to tell you, thank you so much for being on our show today.
Thank you.
I mean, our viewers out there were able to get to listen to you a little bit. And so you're performing again. The next show is?
October 27th,
That's here in Las Vegas.
Italian American Club.
Italian American Club.
Soulville, respect to the Queen.
Okay, well, guys, you heard it there from Denita Asberry. And Shelly Stevens and Joe Cortez here. We tell you guys, keep your guards up at all time. And we got an undisputed champion today, Denita Asberry. Take care. God bless. See you next week.
Bye.